Put the fight on.
Yeah? Hold on. Before I even talk about what we're going to talk about today, I just got done playing Undisputed. And I beat one of you guys from the war room. I whooped your ass. I beat him. What is his name? Oh boy, no, his name is AXUUHH. He got 1,200 wins, 485 losses, and 2 draws. He's a rank 50. He was Joe Louis. I have only 81 wins, 56 losses, and 8 draws, rank 23. I whooped your ass. I knocked you down twice and outboxed you, whipping your ass. All right? I haven't played, that's a damn shame. I haven't played Undisputed in about 3 months. I haven't touched the controller. 3 months, first came back, go online, whipping ass. Okay? So don't mess with this. Don't mess with ShowBizz the adult. None of y'all can mess with ShowBizz. All right, now let's talk. Let me get my black 2 sugars. So, I wanted to do this video because I've been getting 2 questions repeatedly for the last couple of days. And even when I was out in New York, I got these questions. The 2 questions were, who do I think wins the rematch? Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. And what do I think about His Excellency Turki Sheik dropping that bomb saying he's no longer interested in the Bivol versus the Mexican monster, David Benavidez fight? I have a take for both of those. So let's start with Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. I want to say this first. I made a video yesterday talking about how I agree with the New York State Athletic Commission for not overturning the draw. And I get their point when they were saying, you don't know exactly how the fight would have played out if it was ruled a knockdown real time. All right, Gervonta would have definitely changed his approach, and so would Lamont Roach. So you can't really say that everything would have remained the same. So you can't overturn it. And I just want to use this as an example because somebody added me on X. I'm sorry if I forgot your name, but they were like, yo, please bring this up when Bud Crawford versus when he knocked out Sean Porter. The same thing. Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter was pretty much even that fight. I remember when I called that fight, I had it 5-4 going into the 10th for Bud Crawford. Yeah. So that's 5-4 Crawford. Well, Crawford was told by someone on the side that he was down. And when he was like, yo, I'm down and shocked, everyone knows this. He went right out to the 10th round and he dribbled Sean Porter off the canvas.
And another combination. Beautiful work by...
In a fight that was pretty much even for 9 rounds. It's just something switched. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, you should always fight that way. Well, nobody's a robot, all right? It's just sometimes that shit just switch and your game plan change. Terrence Crawford thought he was outboxing and controlling him. He never felt in danger. Come to find out, it was closer than he thought. Same thing with Madrimov. Bud Crawford didn't feel like he was losing to Madrimov. I bet you he didn't even think the fight was that close because he never felt he was in danger. But how the fight went, score-wise, the fight was extremely close. Well, same thing with Gervonta. You couldn't really say that if he was told that that was a knockdown and ruled a knockdown, that Gervonta would have remained the same. I just want to put that out there. Okay. As far as the rematch, Gervonta versus Lamont Roach, who do I got? I got Gervonta, and possibly by knockout.
Fuck ShowBizz. I might, come on, all right.
Listen, bro, I don't think, there's a lot of people that say that wasn't really quite Gervonta Davis. Okay, yeah, there was a lot of things that were different about it, but there's no excuses, okay? Gervonta made weight. He looked like he was definitely preparing for the fight. He had Hunter with him. Calvin Ford was still in his corner, okay? Calvin Ford, the thing that was changed was that Calvin Ford wasn't really in his training camp throughout his training. And, that is a difference, all right? So, and then you saw a bit of a different Gervonta Davis. Me, on the other hand, I think Gervonta needed his ass whipped. I've been saying that forever, and this, to me, is a prime example of it. I said every fighter needs their ass whipped. Even Floyd Mayweather, who was undefeated, when he got his ass whipped by Castillo, he got away with one to me. And he came back, rematch, whooped his ass. It happened a few times, Maidana, whatever. I think everyone needs those tough fights. They need their ass whipped. I think victory was defeating Gervonta. Gervonta didn't have much of a tool box when he was fighting Lamont. Lamont had every answer for Gervonta. Gervonta's been doing the same damn things thinking, okay, this should beat you. I'm going to collect the data, then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to turn up. And Lamont was ready for all that shit. He was Lamont was never really in danger the entire fight. Actually, Lamont rocked Gervonta a few times. And Gervonta knew his goose was cooked early. Gervonta was complaining to Steve Willis, the referee, early. Like the second round. Gervonta was kind of unraveling. Hitting with shoulder strikes. He was unraveling. Right? He took the knee. You know, man, the oil's dripping in my eyes. And we all know it was the braid that hit his eye. And it kind of, but still, you know, reach panicking. Sticking his head through the ropes, getting his face wiped by the towel. You know, he was literally looking at the referee as a teammate. He was, all right? No hate. I know you guys going to cry and say hate and all that stuff, but really, I'm just a boxing analyst giving my take. I do, for all you Tank fans who's crying right now, I do think Gervonta wins the rematch. What I'm saying is, I think Gervonta is a greater fighter than Lamont Roach. And I think Gervonta is going to make those adjustments. Now, I know I brought up Roy versus Tarver. You know, and Lamont Roach can definitely look at Gervonta and say, you know, any hair grease in your eye tonight, Tank? You know, he could do that. And I think that'll be classic. But, you know, I compared it to Tarver-Roy 1 or the Tarver-Roy fights, where it's like the first fight, you know, Roy barely got away with one and people think Tarver actually won. The second one, Tarver knocked him out. Or you could compare it to the Montel Griffin fight, right? The first fight, Roy and Montel, they were going at it. And Roy kind of figured him out later. The second fight, Roy just blew him out because Montel was talking so much shit about I'm the first one to beat Roy and all those things. He had to cheat to beat me. And Roy came out and just blew him out, knocked him out in the first round. Tank, he can do that. Tank he needed his ass whipped. He needed a tough fight. And Tank hasn't really been reaching into his toolbox, right? And he didn't really have answers for Lamont. I think he makes the adjustments. I think Calvin Ford goes in his camp. I think Calvin Ford get regenerated again because he's been dealing with the amateurs, right? He said that's his piece. Well, to rebuild Tank can definitely be a new piece for Calvin Ford. So Calvin Ford can go back, rebuild Tank, get him prepared for this Lamont Roach fight. I think regardless of what Lamont Roach has said about me and all those things, I'm always going to be myself and be true to myself and give my take. I think that was a tough fight for Tank. I think Tank is better than Lamont, I think Lamont deserves the victory, right? And he deserves that. He deserves to be champion. Doesn't mean that Lamont is just better than Tank. He was better that night, and he deserves to win. But come the rematch, I got Tank by knockout. You know, I'm gonna put a bag on it. I lost $800. All you people saying that I'm a Tank hater, I bet $800 on Tank to win. How much you bet, right?
My bookie that I wanna try.
So, you know, I got $800 again on Tank to knock him out, trying to get my money back in a rematch. So, you know, that's how I feel about that. I think Gervonta in the rematch will make the proper adjustments. I think things will be better for Gervonta. He has a new view on things. You know, he was talking about retirement. He was talking about all those things. He was kind of down on boxing. You need your ass whipped. Now he has a new motivation. He's going to have the eye of the tiger again, and I think he makes the adjustments, and I think he beat Lamont, but I think Lamont deserves the victory in the first fight. Now, as far as His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. Turki Al-Sheikh, he made a comment saying that he's no longer interested in putting on Bivol versus Dave Benavidez.
Put the fight on.
That doesn't shock me because I know Turki Al-Sheikh wants the trilogy with Bivol and Benavidez.
What did you think? He deserved it, and we want to see the third.
But it's not on Turki Al-Sheikh. It's really on Bivol, right? Bivol's the undisputed champ. It's really on him, right? And that's the fight he wants over Bivol versus Mandatory in the Mexican Monster, David Benavidez. But the thing is, it didn't bother me that he said that because what he was saying was that he's not going to bid on the fight. He can't control the fight. He can't make the fight not happen. I think y'all got it twisted. Y'all have given Turki Al-Sheikh too much power. Like, His Excellency is saying, I'm not going to bid on that. Someone else can, right? PBC, that David Benavidez is a PBC fighter. They can bid on it, right? Or anybody else who wants to fight. He's saying that he's not going to bid on it. But PBC can. If y'all want Benavidez versus Bivol, hopefully someone bids on the fight. Turki isn't. And if you don't like Turki, that should be music to your ears because you want it to be a more popping fight, right? A lot of people say His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh is putting on the biggest cards. Well, then you don't want him to get the Bivol versus Benavidez. You want somebody else like the PBC to bid on it. So, How I feel about it? Yeah, good. You know what I'm saying? Let somebody else bid on it so we can get the fight. Do I want Bill versus Benavidez? Yes. Is it up to His Excellency Turki No to make the fight? No. There's anybody else can make the fight, and I hope they do. All right. I'm not necessarily big on the trilogy, Better BF and Bivol. I feel like they're even, so it really doesn't. Even if Better BF wins, I'm like, or Bivol wins. I mean, I just think they're even. Okay. But if you want to get the final who wins out the three fights, okay. All right, but really I want Bivol versus Benavidez, and if Turki ain't gonna bid on it, somebody bid on it.
Put the fight on.
Let me know how you feel in the comments below. ShowBizz for the dope. I'm out.